talking about reading part. Maybe the Zoom is not disturbing, technical disturbing. You have to check the Zooms that the host have a problem maybe. Okay. So in the previous classes, we were discussing about reading part and we have given some work to practice. And the part we were discussing from Cambridge 11, part 4, task 4, and lots of classes we delivered and lots of technique we have discussed. Now time to practice, time to justify your score as well. I have given the scoring mark sheet, how to score, how to justify your score, and you can score, you can justify your reading a score if you have an idea about the scoring systems. Today's classes, we are going to discuss about the writing part. In the writing part, we already have discussed many things about task 1 and task 2. So we have idea how to answer task 1. Task 1 is about a picture, diagram, table. We have to understand the question first, then we have to write in 20 minutes on at least 150 words. And today we are going to discuss about task 2. Task 2, as we have discussed regarding task 2, the type of task 2, on how many type of task 2. In the task 2, we are asked to write 250 word in 40 minutes. The type are 3. One is argumental ones. Second is advantage, disadvantage. Third is reason and solving. Today's classes, we are discussing argumental ones, agree, disagree. First of all, have a look at the questions, what the question require from us in 40 minutes. This is our fixed time in 40 minutes. We have to write an essay, at least 250 words. What we have to do, we have to look first the questions, what question requirements. In the question requirings, question is requiring that some people feel that entertainers such as film star, pop musician, or sport star has paid too much money. Do you agree or disagree? As we have discussed, this is an essay we are going to write in our real trust, IELTS academics. First of all, we have to plan, we have to make some point. If the question require from my points of view, if the question require for the agreement or disagreements, and what we have to do, we have to understand the question first, then have to note down in 2 minutes some points, the point about in supportive agreements. If I agree with the statement, I have to point out some logical statement that why I'm going to support it, and some agnostic statement, against statement. Some people have to bring their logic to that why they are not supporting the statement. The statement is some people feel that entertainer such as film star, pop musician, or sport star are paid too much money. Now I like to know whether you understand the question. First of all, you need to understand the question, Mr. Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman, did you understand the question? What the question required from you? Abdul Rahman.
Yes, sir.
Did you understand the question? What the question required from you? Or can you please read the question again? I will make you understand what the question required from you.
Yes, sir, I understood.
Please, can you read the question again?
Some people feel that entertainers such as film stars, pop music.
Pop musician. pop musician, or sport star are paid too much money? What do you mean by this question? And what did you understand by the question? Can you explain what do you understand the question?
Yeah, some people think entertainers such as film stars and pop musicians spend a lot of money.
No, they are earning, not spending. They're pop musician, film star, singer, or some sport person earning lots of money. They are earning, not people think that entertainers, film star, pop are paid. They are paid or they are earning money. For example, Angelina Jolie. Jolie is a film star, a Hollywood film star. She has lots of money, or some other popular film star, singer are being paid much money. For example, the football players, Neymars, or other popular football players are being paid too much money. Cricket players are being paid too much money. And this is an argumental question, whether you agree or disagree, or do you agree or disagree. They are requiring your argument, your points of view. If you agree, if you are supporting, if you are going to support that the sport person, musician, film star should be paid much money than other occupational, you have to bring your logic why you are supporting this statement. Then the requirements is that when you are supporting that, you have to note down the logic, a strong logic that you are supporting, and you have to bring some example why you are going to support the statements. Then when you write the essay you have to make 4 paragraph. First paragraph should be introduction, second paragraph should be argumental, that the agree, uh, third paragraph should be disagree, and the fourth paragraph will be conclusions. Now, Abdul Rahman, as I have discussed in the previous classes, in the previous writing classes, what you have to write in the introduction. Abdul Rahman, do you have idea what you have to write in the introduction regarding the question? What you have to write?
No, sir.
Okay, anyone have idea in the introduction what we need to write? Samia Khan, I think, has idea. Can you please tell me writing task 2, what you have to
Yes, sir.
write?
We have to write the question in our words.
Okay, you have to write the question, explaining the question in your own languages. That means what you understand, no more than 3 sentences or no more than 4 sentences. So give an example. What can you write in the introduction? Samia, can, if you can share your view, please. What can you write? That means you understand the question, please. Can you tell me what can you write regarding the question, whatever you understand? Samia Khan, can you explain, please? What can you regarding the question you understand? Okay.
Some people feel the entertainers such as film stars, pop musicians, or sports stars are paid too much money. Uh, People think the popular pop stars, like actresses, singers, are earning too much money because they are so famous.
Okay, this should be this paragraph should be the shorter one, not larger. You can write some people think that entertainer such as film actor, musician, or a sport person should be paid much more money because they are more familiar, but some don't agree. What I am going to explain, what I am going to share my points of view. 3 lines, 4 lines is enough. You don't have to extend more than 3 lines in the introduction paragraphs. Then you have to go to the agree points. You can start to begin with. I like to point out my points of view. I like to share my points of view. I strongly support. If you support, you can have said that I strongly support that entertainers should be paid much. If you are going to support, you have to bring your logics why you have to support. Do you support or you are not supporting? Do you like to support the question or you are against the question?
The question.
Do you like to support the question or you are against?
Against.
Supporting. So if you support, what logic you can bring? Why you are going to support that entertainers should be paid much more money than other occupational people? What are your logics? Can you please tell me your logic first of all? Secondly, thirdly, the first logic is that that's why I'm supporting. Second, that's why I'm supporting. Thirdly, moreover, and you can bring an example in the paragraph, second paragraph. Please, can you tell me in short that why you like to support that entertainer should be paid much more money than other professional holder?
Earning much more money because of their talent.
Number 1 point, and number 2, because they have they are more talented than and more talented and more popular, and they can entertain the people than some other person. They have a great rule to make people happy, to entertain the people. Number 1 logic. Second logic, what are the second logic in accordance with your views? Can you find second more logic that you are going to support? Please think for some times.
Personality or acting.
Okay, personality or acting, and second logic. Third logics. They have good personality, and they can contribute economical status for their country or as well as around the world. Third logics. Okay, if you don't find some more logic, you can bring, for example, then you can go to the against statements that the person who don't support, the person who don't agree with the statement that why they are not going to support. You can bring, on the other hand, some people don't agree with the statement that sport person, entertainers, musicians should not be paid much more money than other occupation like teachers, like doctor, like other occupation, because teacher, number 1 point you can bring, teacher have lots of contribution to teach, to make a nation. So teachers should be paid much more money than the sport person. But some country, this is common phenomenon, the popular sport person like Neymar footballer, Neymar's Brazilian footballers or Argentinian footballers are being paid, they are being paid too much money, and they are being hired in the club. But what are their contribution for the nation? Can they contribute for the nation to eradicate poverty, to eradicate illiteracy, to eradicate? They are just entertaining. So it is totally illogic statements. Number 1. Number 2, you can point out that they should not be paid much more money than other professional holder, like you can say the doctor have a great rule to treat the patients. If doctor are not paid by the governments, doctor will not encourage. The contribution of a doctor are used to serve the nation. Police, teachers have huge contribution for the serving nation, rather than the sport person. A sport person just entertaining people. This is not essential for everyone. This is not a fundamental right for the people. So the person who who have a great contribution for the society, for the nation, they have to pay much more money than the sport person. Then we can bring some example. Lest we have see some simple answer. Then we have to, before that, we can hope that some things. Note that it is not about whether they are paid a lot of money, rather that is too much money. Film star, pop musician, or sport are only given, for example, and you can talk about their type of entertainers. Plan that one too high for pitch. Okay, now we have to go to the simple answer. How we can have 8 score, 9 score on the task 2 of IELTS writing test. First paragraph, as I have talked about, the no more than 2 sentences. Whatever we understand, we have to explain the question no more than 2 or 3 sentences. And in the sample answer, as we can see, it is often said that people who work in the entertainment industry, such as movie star, musician, and a sport star, are being paid overpaid. This essay discusses why I think they are paid too much money, and then I will discuss other occupational then I think should receive higher salary. This is introduction. No more than 3 sentences. Now we have to go to the second paragraph is the argumental paragraph, the body paragraph. In the body paragraph, first paragraph should be why I agree the statement of the question. The main reason I strongly feel that the salary are too much high, and that's the entertainers' income does not reflect the amount of work they do. For instance, that means, for example, top star movie like Angelina Jolie can easily make $1 million by acting in a single film. This amount may never be reached by many people during their life, no matter how hard working they are. In addition, if we base a person's income according to their relative contribution to society, the income of entertainer seem too high. This is because entertainment is not a important for to our society as much as other fields such as science and technology. I think we understand the argumental things. We are not going to support that the Angelina Jolie should be paid much more money. She may be very nice actress. She may has good policy to actress in the Hollywood films, but she shouldn't be paid much more money than other professionals like who are doing contribution for the science and technology, making some innovations. Now the third paragraph, in the third paragraph, we can write some people statement that who are not going to support that sport person should not be paid than the teacher, then the engineer, then the scientist, then the doctor. They are logic friends. There are other professional that deserve to be paid more for their works, more especially people like doctor who make a big contribution to society should be rewarded more. Since doctor can save life and give people hope, they should receive a high amount of to reflect the meaningful contribution they make. Other type of occupation deserve a good salary, or teacher who have high huge responsibility to contribute to the education of the next generation seem to be unpaid. Surely people who entrust with such tasks should be rewarded accordingly. This is the third paragraph. What you have to write in the third paragraph, just why you are not going to support that the physician, that the entertainer should be paid much more money. The second logic that the first of all, entertainer are not contributing much as the doctor, as engineer, as a scientist who are inventing rocket, inventing some new innovation for like a medicine vaccine for virus. They should be rewarded. who are making some technology, new technology, they have to be rewarded than the musicians. Finally, we have to write the conclusion. Perfect. In the conclusion, we can write 3 sentences in accordance with the briefing of the paragraphs, what they write down. In conclusion, I reiterate my strong belief that entertainers are overpaid as they do not offer anything greater than other people who are working in the other industry. It is advocate that people who make a significant contribution to society, such as medical practitioners and the teachers, should be rewarded appropriately. I recommend that a step should be taken to address this disparity. What they have written 310 words. We are instructed to write 200, not more less than 250 words. Now I have to bring some linguistic standard. Here, the linguistic standard reflect the low amount of work, then the rebelt and show the low amount of work, relative contribution compared the in fact fields such as science technology, work areas such as science and technology, meaningful contribution. These are the point it brings. Now you get the idea. Now you can bring an essay of your own knowledge. That this is the sample of 8 score in the writing task 2. Very simply, you should not write more complicated word. Just very simply, you have to write very easy themes of your idea, why you are going to support, why you're not going to support. So I like to know the feedback from you, whether you understand. Abdul Rahman, did you understand how to write the essay, IELTS essay task 2?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain what kinds of essay we have discussed in the classes? And if you find same essay, same classes, what you have to plan, how you have to write down this essay in your real task of IELTS?
Task 2.
Yes,
You agree or disagree?
of course. How you plan yourself to write down task 2 question, agree or disagree?
Firstly, I should write own own introduction, and beside I choose agree or disagree. If if I choose agree, but second paragraph I should write why do I choose agree.
Yes, the second paragraph you have to mention that what are the reasons that you are agree with the statement, the second paragraph, and you have to bring some logic, then including an example. And the third paragraph, what you have to write in the third paragraph?
Third paragraph, I should write about why do I dislike
No, not in the third paragraph. Don't have to write your own opinion, because a person cannot write both things, whether you have to choose agree or disagree. Third paragraph, you have to mention that some people, on the other hand, some people who are not agree with the statement, their logic is that first of all this one, secondly this one, thirdly this one, then the example you have to be included. And finally, in conclusion, the overall themes, overall moral idea of the paragraph of the essay, you can write in three or 5 sentences. But the thing is that first thing is that whether you understand the question or not, this is main things. because in IELTS writing task 1 and 2, in the task 1 we have discussed some fixture you have to understand, then you have to write in 150 word. In the task 2 you have the some essay, large one essay, and not less than 250 word. Every sorts of thing you need to write of your own knowledge, on experience. So if you are planning to have 8 score or 8 plus score, it is more easier if you can write like the essay very easily, very clearly, then reader can understand, then you are supposed to have 8 score very easily. You don't need to write very uncommon words. This is things. Now I like to know the feedback from other person. Mr. Masum Afsari, do you understand the type of question writing? Masum Afsari, are you listening to me? Masum Afsari is not. Please, Masum Afsari, unmute yourself. Masum Afsari, are you listening to me? Okay, we like to ask other person. I think Samia can't understand very well. Sweetie, what is your comments about the question? Sweetie, did you understand the question types? Sweetie, I think you are listening to me. Please unmute yourself and answer my question. Do you understand the writing task 2? Hello, sweetie, do you understand the writing task 2? I'd like to request sweetie to unmute yourself and to talk with me whether you understand the writing task 2 or not.
No, sir.
You don't understand. Do you have idea about the IELTS writing task?
Yes, sir.
So in the writing task 2, what kinds of question there will be in your final exam? Do you have any idea? I have already discussed in previous class, and now I like to mention again. In the writing task 2, you can have some categories of question like the essay, a large one. Essay time is 40 minutes. Essay should be like the some agree disagree. For example, if the question like this, that like the question, some people think that film star like Angelina Jolie and Salman Khan, Indian film star Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan have to be paid much more money than teacher, than other person. Now, if you find this kinds of question, you have to write why some people think that the film star have to be paid much more money, or if you are going to support that the film star should be paid much more money. If you support, you have to bring some logic why you are going to support, first of all. Secondly, thirdly, an example. Second paragraph. In the third paragraph, you have to write the person who don't agree. You can start, on the other hand, the person who don't agree that film star like Salman Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, Angelina, or other famous film star should not be paid much more money than teacher Nazim Sir or other teacher, that Najim sir are doing lots of contribution, or other teacher around the world, lots of teacher have lots of contribution, like some teacher have made some new invention, some teacher have recharged, scientists have recharged, they have changed the world. So they have to be paid much more money as some teacher, some recharged person than the film actor. This is first logic. They can bring some logic that the if teacher are paid much more money, they can contribute more thing for the nation. If doctor are paid much more money, they can serve the people, they can serve patient, they can save the life of the patients. And thirdly, fourthly, then you can bring examples. I have given the simple answer. I think, Sweetie, you now understand. Did you? Please, Sweetie, did you understand, or I have to make you clear more?
Yes, sir, I understood.
Okay, so very important thing for task 2, you have to gather basic English, that basic grammar, how to make sentence of your own. This is very important thing, because in the IELTS nothing memorizing. Once you understand the question, you have to write an essay of your own knowledge and experience. So I recommend it all the time. If you have weak knowledge in English, basic grammar like sentences, tense, voice change, I recommend it to review yourself, study yourself, those basic grammar, try to write some sentences of your own knowledges. Then you can have good score in IELTS writing task 2. And as well as writing task 1. Okay, so now I like to know some disagree points. If Mr. Abdul Rahman disagree with the statement that the film actor should not be paid much more money than other occupation, what will be your point? What will be your logic, Abdul Rahman? Think for some time that what will be your logic that you are not agree to be paid some much more money. That Neymar is a Brazilian footballer, but Neymar are being paid by some football clubs, Manchester United, too much money they are being paid. Why you are not agree? Please, Mr. Abdul Rahman, please point out your logic, pointical logic.
So it can't be denied that entertainment and sports is important in other sector. At present, at this moment, in the world, most of the famous and essential occupation teachers. But I see in our country, most of the teacher get every month some salary. But in our countries, most of the famous player every month earn uh, a, LRS, a million of money, million of money. But I think firstly our government should give respect doctor teacher sector. Beside moreover, entertainment actors, actors, others occupation give respect and gives unpaid money.
Good logic, Mr. Abdul Rahman. Good logic. Your logic is good. That you mean that the teacher, doctor, scientists have lots of contribution to change the nation, develop a nation. Then the film actor. Film actor just can entertain the people, not can change the nation, not can develop a country. They just can entertain the young people. This is not so necessary as the scientist contribution, doctor and engineer. This is a good logic you have brings. So you understand well. You have to follow. This paragraph is called argumental essay. You may have in your real test of IELTS. When you find this kinds of question, first of all, spend 5 minutes for bringing some logic, then start writing, whether you are going to support or not. Now, I think we have understand well. Now I can go to the other question as well. Other questions we can have discussed. This is another question. We can have things about the question in task 2. Some museums and art gallery charge admission fee while other have free entry. Do you think the advantage of charging for admission overweight for the disadvantage? So I have mentioned writing task 2 are 3 category. One is argumental, second is advantage disadvantages, third is origin and solve. And in my writing classes, I already have all discussed regard technique and strategy. Now again I like to give some instruction in terms of writing task 2. When you find the question that the question required from you, that the advantage and disadvantage. For example, simple question that mobile phone has lots of advantage as well as it has disadvantages. So when you have to write the essay in or at least 250 word, you have to point out some note the what are the advantages of mobile phone and what are the disadvantages. You can bring some example to enhance your score, band score of writing. Now, the question we can follow what the requirement of the question. First of all, understand the question requirement, then plan to write. Question that some museum and art gallery charge admission fee, while other don't charge, other have free entry. Okay, I think you understand the question. Did you? Samia Khan, what do you understand the question? Samia Khan, are requested to explain whether you understand the question or not.
Yes, sir, but not 100%.
So again, can you please read the question again? Question.
Some museums and art galleries charge admission fees, while others have free entry.
So the requirement is: do you think the advantage of charging for admission overweight the disadvantages? Requirement is that they are requiring that, they are not requiring your points of view or argument. They are requiring the what are the advantages of charging admission fee and what are the advantages of the free entry, or what are disadvantages of charging admission fee. You can two things, 2 point. One point is that what are the advantages of charging admission fee, what are the disadvantages of charging admission or free entry. First of all, you have to understand museum art gallery. What are the museum art gallery? Do you know the museum art gallery? I think in Pakistan, in your country, in which city do you live in? Karachi?
I'm living in Lahore.
So in Lahore, did you visited any museum gallery, museum art gallery? Do you have any like Muhammad Ali Jinnah museum gallery? Museum mean that the Muhammad Ali Jinnah's museum gallery, they preserve some the historical equipment in the museums. Have you visited some museums in Lahore?
I know.
In London, I have visited some London museums. There are lots of statue of Asian people, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, some leader, politician leader, as well as some artist person. This is called the museums and art gallery. That means some art gallery in London. I don't know in Pakistan there are not, but in some country there are some art gallery that the British people, if you live in England, you can see some lots of famous art gallery like Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci is a famous art preserved in the London Art Gallery. I have visited several times. Very fantastic art gallery, significance. And lots of artists have preserved their own works in the art gallery. Now the question, should the art gallery be taken some admission fee entry, or they should be they send charge art admission fee, while other have free entry? both think what are the advantages or disadvantages? Free have advantage or fee charge is advantages? What do you think?
Just
You can start writing first paragraph. You have to write down in the first paragraph regarding the question that you have to explain that the what are the art gallery, what are the museum. You can explain that museum are very significant around the world as well as art gallery. Museum preserve some the history of a nation like a Muhammad Ali Jinnah's statue, or the Amitabh Bachchan's statue in London museums. And in the art gallery, some philanthropic or works of artists are preserved, like Leonardo da Vinci have been preserved in the gallery. The visitor can watch, visitor can see the artwork, philanthropic artwork in the gallery. They can gather knowledge as well. For this reason, some people are charging, some are allowing the visitor freely. Both has advantages and disadvantages. Now have a look the simple question. You can have idea, then you can bring some point how you are going to write down the essay. In the first paragraph, I like to request Samia Khan to read the introduction paragraph. In the screen you can see.
with the increasing popularity of museums and galleries, whether they should be free of charge or not has drawn much discussion amongst the general public. Personally, I am uh, inclined
Mhm.
the view that the merits of charges to the view that the merits of charging for entry outweigh the drawbacks.
Okay, do you understand the introduction? What the writer have write down? With the encouraging popularity of museums and art gallery, whether they should be free for charge or has drawn much discussion all amongst the general public. Personally, I am inclined to the view that the merit of charging or entry overdraw the demerit. That means merit
Uh,
merit means
advantage,
the
disadvantage.
advantage advantage override the disadvantages. Merit, that means it has a advantages or then the disadvantages. And if you can write very simply, very easily, that the art gallery charging in the art gallery and museum need to be charged. People need to be charged to entry fee, because if they are free, it won't have the value of the merit. It should be introduction. Now the second paragraph is there. What are the advantages on the cogent reason for charging fee is that the building and the maintenance cost of major museum and art gallery are tremendous. Undoubtedly, by charging a reasonable entry fee, it can help cover the cost in incur as a result of day-to-day activities such as on utility bills, maintenance cost, renovation, and a staff cost. If they costs were not covered with the state of facility would deteriorate and be less attractive. This is the advantages, and then go for the disadvantages. In addition, benefit of entrance fee is that they allow the place to expand quicker, and they can buy in more exhibit to attract more people. The facility will be able to hire famous international artifact and artwork, thereby enabling them to provide variety so that they can attract greater patrons. Consequently, charging an admission fee seems very unilateral uh, to um, creating better museum and gallery. However, there are downside associated with the admission fee, one of which is that it may preclude some member of the community from entering the facility. This is a particularly case if poor member of society are unable to afford to visit those places. It seems a great pity children and economically disadvantaged people are unable to benefit from the cultural experience those venue provided. In conclusion, I would like to retard the benefit of an entry fee in terms of finding, maintenance, and expansion prevail over the downside such as limited access for the poor people. However, it is recommended that they can provide conscious to disadvantaged members community, even hold a monthly fee entry. That is, now we have to, this is a good sample to have 9 score, and I have to make it more easier. In the first paragraph, if you write more easily sentences, writing more easy sentence, you can write down that the art gallery art gallery art gallery are more significant as well as museums. So there should be a law and the rule to pay entry fee, and it has both side advantage and disadvantage, what I am going to explain below. This is the introduction paragraph. You can write easily. If you are looking to have 7.5 score, 8 score, you can write very simple sentences. Then you have to go, the second paragraph is advantage. You to begin with writing advantages. There are lots of advantages. First of all, the advantages are the charging that art gallery. Then if authority charge for the entry fee of art gallery and museum, they can have funded, they can have fund lot of money to evacuate, to renovate their gallery, as the new arts of work can be invented and they can be paid it. First logic. And second logic is that you can bring the art gallery art gallery can be paid it for entrance of art gallery have to be paid it for the visitor, as no much gathering, as there won't be no much gathering, people shouldn't be no much gathering, and it may have a security as well. Fourthly, you can bring example, then you can have example that some example should be realistic support, that you can talk about the example. For example, in London Art Gallery there is a fee for entrance fee, or you can mention an art gallery in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, or in some Indian country. As you know, the some art gallery in Lahore, in Delhi, in Dhaka, like the Bangabandhu Art Gallery, like the Muhammad Ali Jinnah Art Gallery. The entrance fee are tolerable, and for the entrance fee, there is no much gatherings in the holiday. You know that in holiday people are enthusiastic to visit the gallery. So if there is an entrance fee, everyone cannot enter. Just some person, like a student, can have access to the art gallery. Now you can have a disadvantages that what are the disadvantages? It can bring some disadvantages that if there won't be charts for the art gallery, then if there will be charts for the art gallery, so everyone, some person poor will be deprived to the entrance of gallery. Some poor student who have enthusiastic to learn some new museums or the country history, if they are not allowed to enter freely in the museum or gallery, how they can recharge about the country story, how they can learn about the art of some famous art like Leonardo da Vinci or others. Secondly, you can bring some logic. Thirdly, fourthly, but everything need to be practiced more and more to make your hand free, to have a expected score in reading. Because in the reading part, writing part, nothing common you can have in your final exam. If you are not habituated to write any sorts of things, any article, you are not going to have good score in IELTS writing test. So make sure yourself to have good score, whether you hand is free to write in any sorts of English in accordance with the grammatical accuracy and on clearness of your writing statement. Two things you have to confirm, that you whether you have grammatical accuracy or the thing you are going to write should be clear. So now you can share your view, what you understand the question. Samia Khan, I think you understand the question. What you can share your view regarding the question I have given you idea. Could you please share your view regarding the question?
Sir, first of all, we have to write the statement, like introduction, in our own words.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have to write the explanation, like advantage of uh, the music, the fee charges, or
Or
and
free entrance, free entrance,
yes.
entrance.
And in the third paragraph, we will write about the disadvantage, that why we are disagree. No, why the advantage of the free entry.
Okay, both thing you can read, both it has advantage, disadvantage, but every sorts of thing you are going to write of your own knowledge. So what do you understand, Samia Khan? If you are looking to have 8 score, is it possible to have 8 score in IELTS writing?
Please repeat your.
I like to know, what do you understand? If you are looking to have 8 score in writing part, is it possible to in IELTS writing to have 8 score?
I will try my best.
No, in accordance my lecture, what do you understand? What thing you have to emphasize to have 8 score in writing IELTS writing test?
Yes, sir.
You mean that the first of all you have to understand the question,
Yes, sir. I
then
understand.
you have to write the question very answer very clearly as the reader can understand,
Yes,
and
sir.
you need to ensure your grammatical accuracy and lexical resource. And no matter you can write 350 words, but you have to be concentrate on your time, that you have only 40 minutes. In 40 minutes, if you are habituated to write very quickly, then you are going to have 8 score. This is good time. In my time, when I appear for IELTS test, and what I have done, I use my pencil and I spend only 30 minutes for writing task 2. I had 10 minutes at my hand, and I check my grammar, I check my languages. Then to some sentences I found mistaken, I have done mistaken or error. I erase it and rewrite the correct sentences. My score was 8.5 in writing as well. So this technique you have to follow in your final exams. Prepare well, know the way to writing tests, and make your hand free, that in 20 minutes you are able to write at least 250 word in any parts of topics. Just in the categories of the, you have to understand what category is it, the argumental one, or it is the advantage disadvantage, or it is the region and solve. Now I like to go to the other types of question. As you can see in here, this is the, what does the question require from us? As you can see, the question is requiring us. Some people feel that the design of newly constructed building is big city should be controlled by government. Others believe that those who finance the construction of a building should be free to design as it as they see it. First of all, can you tell me what the question like to instruct you, what the question like to make you understand? This is very important thing to have a good score in writing test. And Mr. Abdul Rahman can explain the question. Please, Abdul Rahman,
Okay,
explain. Please explain the question. What do you understand the question?
yes, sir, I understand. This question said some people feel that the design of newly constructed buildings in big cities should be controlled by government because should be in our cities most of the buildings build up uh, build up controlled by government. In other countries, I heard most of the buildings uh, most of the buildings uh, uh, build controlled by government. uh, I agree this opinion.
Okay, we like to read the question again. Some people feel that the design of a new constructed building in big city like Dhaka, London, Karachi, Delhi, or some big cities should be controlled by government. Others believe that those who finance the construction of a building should be free to design as they see fit. So now you have to go for the controversial points, whether I am supporting or not. But here the question required is that both view and your opinion. So we have to write both view. That means agree view or disagree view. Now let's talk about the introduction. What do you have to write? First of all, I have to explain the question that some new constructed building like a multi-story building should be monitored by city corporation, by government authority, whether they are following the construction rules regulation or not, should be checked. But some people think the government should not do, rather the building company and infrastructure company should monitor these ones, or should be free to design. They should have a right to design of their own patterns, own conceptions. Now, before writing this essay, use your pencil, point out some logic that whether you are going for agreement or agree side, or whether you are going to disagree side. Now, any parts you can write. In the first paragraph, explain the question of your own knowledge, no more than 3 or 4 sentences. Then in the body paragraph, you can have write the agree. You can start like this, to begin with the people who agree with the statement that the new building should be newly constructed building should be controlled by the city corporation or government to ensure the building safety. Their logic is that if they are not controlled, if their new constructed building are not controlled, the commercial building will be more risky for the risky, and the building company or the building business persons will have lots of benefit, and they will there may be accident in any times. And then you can write down the second logic, third logic, fourth logic, and you can have include an example with support of the statement you have written down. Or the third paragraph you have to write, on the other hand, the person who said that building should not be controlled by the building construction should not be controlled by the government, rather the builder need to have a right to design building pattern of their own. They have some logic, first of all, secondly, thirdly, fourthly, an example. Now have a look the simple answer, how the writer have been written down. Okay, in here we can see there are those who have the belief that authority should retain control and oversight over the planning process associated with the constructing any new building in large metropolis. Well, the alternative stance is that those who found the project should have free design over the blueprint. This essay discussed both sides of the contain agreement, and I will give my own opinion on perspective, which is that the authority must retain control of the process. This is introduction. Then the body paragraph is agree side. Many people argue that company building projects should be free to design building as they wish. One of the reasons for this that they often have the expertise to design building well. For instance, that means, for example, they often employ leading architect to design stylish building for them. Another reason is to allow building in an area to have a distinctive flavor and not to be constrained by government regulation that may result in the cookies cutter approach to building. For an example, is the style of the building can be found in Beijing, where whole suburb look identical. So in an example, they mention about the city name Beijing. You can conclude a realistic support of your familiar city, familiar building. This is the agree. On the other hand, the third paragraph should be disagree. Other urge that government should safeguard of the general public interest and regulate design of building accordingly more open than not. They have record of the area affected by disaster throughout the story. Well-established design standard that can ensure building can withstand just over every antiseptic natural disaster, such as earthquake and flood. In addition, if government review the design decision about a building's design, whole town planning, and a more historic approach can be considered as parts of the decision. More especially, they consider how the design of a particular building fit in which other building and facility in the area. Conclusion should be, in conclusion, I believe both sides of argument have their merits. However, on balance, I believe that the government's investment is essential, as I feel it will be ensure safety issue are not being violated and the whole city have some sort of overhaul plan in their design. What's 317? Now, this is a good example to have 9 score in writing test. Now you have to ensure your skill, and if you understand the strategy, you have to plan to yourself how to write down the task 2. And if you have in internet, you can have lots of question of IELTS writing task 2. If you search in Google's IELTS writing task, writing simple task, simple question, you can have multiple writing simple task. Try yourself to write down, and you can have help from us to evaluate your score. Remember that for writing tasks, 4 things is essential. First of all, you need to understand the question type. Then you need to ensure your grammatical accuracy, including lexical details. The very important thing for writing test, your writing should be clear to understandable to the readers, to the examiners. Now, I like to know your feedbacks. Samia can have time to discuss regarding task 2. What do you understand in the classes? Your points of view, please share. What do you understand in the classes, and what you can do of your own when you try to write writing tasks? Please comment your view.
Yes, sir. Firstly, we have to understand the question, the statement, and then first of all, we will write down the introduction and then the main body,
Okay,
and in the last we have to write.
I have given more idea about writing task 2. Do you have some common question in your final test of IELTS writing test, or you have to be habituated to write any sorts of test? How you prepared yourself? How can you prepare yourself to have good score in writing? Do you have any common task in real exam, or you have to prepare yourself for writing any sorts of test of your own knowledge and experience? Please. Do you understand me? Samia Khan, okay, you have written down a comment that. Okay, thank you, Samia Khan. It's very important for writing test. As much as you practice writing, as much as you can have good score. But first of all, try to understand the question pattern, question type, what they are requiring. And there are 3 types: argumental, advantage, disadvantage, and region and solve. And another type, we can see the region and solve, advantage, disadvantages. This is a great disagree. Opinion types. Most of the time we can see in IELTS writing test the opinion types. Sometime advantages, sometime region and solve. If the question, if you are given to write the question like this, some problematic way, you have to write, look at the question. This is another type of question. This is is problematic way. If you have some type of question like the problematic way, nowadays we are producing more and more rubbish. Why do you think this is happening? This question is problematic way. The requirement is that what are the reason for the producing more rubbish, and what can government do to help reduce amount of production? So to write this kinds of essay, we have to follow, point out some region, what are the regions, and how can we tackle this kinds of problem. And I like to show the simple answer. Four paragraph. First paragraph introduction, second paragraph is the region, what are the region, third paragraph is the solution, and final paragraph is conclusion. Just read the question is that more than any time in history, human beings are producing more waste product, and it is encouraging at every alarming rate. This essay discusses why I feel this is happening and explore the measures government need to take to bring this under control. Introduction. The second one is the regions. There are several regions that I believe can be attributed to the increase in rubbish in modern city. Primary region is that growth of online shopping. Online shopping is the convenient. It makes easy for people to purchase good around the clocks. Problem is that those good are packaged to ensure safe delivery before being discarded to consumer, and it is fragile, and as a result all the packaging is discarded. The second reason is that the charge in people's lifestyle, especially those who live in the city, for staying more and more people are eating out in restaurant and fast food out outlet, which translate into the user of more prestigious food container and entrails, which will invisibly increase the amount of non biographic plastic refuge. The third paragraph is the solution. There are several major or several steps can be taken by government to mitigate the challenges issue. The most effective measure is for the government to pass law to mandate the use of recycled packaging. At the same time, online advertising need to be used to encourage online shopper to discard used packaging in recycling bins. Secondly, government can introduce regulation which limit the uses of pollution products such as plastic. For example, several law can be put in a place requiring the student to use utensil that can be washed, sanitize, and reuses. Conclusion in the finally conclusion, more garbage is being created due to the growth of online shopping and changing lifestyle. However, if government regulate business and introduce law to ensure more environmentally friendly practices, it can be reduced. So we can understand how to write. And again, I like to mention that in writing test, you should get the idea to write to enlarge your sentences using complex linking word, and try to use passive voice, and try to decorate your sentence very well, grammatical techniques. More things that the basic grammar you need to require to learn to have good score. Now, if you have question, you can ask me, or if you understand or don't understand, you can ask your question, your weak points. I will try to solve you. I will try to give you good instruction. Abdul Rahman, I think you understand well, and I like to talk with the person Masum Ashra Afsari, Mr. Masum Afsari. I like to talk with you. Masum Apsari. Please unmute yourself. And another person is that you attended the late, so I recommend you in the group, you can have the classes, review the classes, and it's very helpful for you to prepare yourself for IELTS writing test. As we talk today's classes, how to write writing task 2, what technique and how to encourage your score. In the previous classes, we were discussing about our reading test, and I have given you some homework to evaluate your score. I have trained you the scoring systems in reading part. You can evaluate your score, you can justify your score, you know, the reading and listening. As you practice more and more, you can have testify your score, then you can understand whether you are suitable to have the final test. Know that it's very important to you that the 6-point score, 6.5 score is qualified for IELTS. Until you are not qualified to have this score, don't sit for the final test, because below 6 point is not accepted in any country for higher education. Now, if you have questions, you can ask, or we have to finish the classes. Okay, someone have mentioned review the classes. You can review the classes if you are added with our groups, IELTS Facebook groups, then you can review the classes. The classes, all the classes are in the groups. You can review the classes. Any question to be asked?
Sir, I have missed part 1 class.
Part 1 mean the writing test part 1?
Writing test.
So, okay, in the next classes, we will discuss writing test part 1, or I have in the groups, IELTS group, there are lots of writing test part 1. You can review that. In the next classes, we will discuss again about the writing test part 1s.
Sir, I can say.
With me?
Sir, Irene Akhtar, I can say.
Yes, you can ask question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I miss your first class, then second class. So so late, sir. First time I have no internet, and I don't know your class is.
Okay, are members of our IELTS Facebook group?
No, sir. I'm not attend.
So I like to recommend.
Can't.
I like to recommend you to be the members of Facebook group. This is the hassle-free IELTS and hassle-free education Facebook group. If you are if you are the member, you can have all the classes and more things that the classes you miss. How many classes have you missed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2 classes miss, and I have no routine, sir. So I don't attend.
Okay, the schedule is the every Friday. Are you from Bangladesh?
Yes, sir. I'm Bangladesh.
Bangladeshi time every Friday writing or reading classes 8:30 p.m.
Okay,
and Wednesday the classes for British teachers with the British teachers. This is about same time. Wednesday British teachers or other time thrice in a week the classes is conducted. So you can have the classes with British teacher Wednesday same time Bangladeshi times, and if you miss some classes, I like to recommend you to join yourself with our Facebook groups, IELTS group, then you can have those. So do you understand about reading classes, or do you have any question about reading part?
Sir, I understand that, but I can't say, sir. I can't say question and answer, but I understand that. But I'm writing.
Okay, for writing I just started, and you have to from now in every classes you will find the writing test. Don't
Yes,
worry, we started for writing, but I have already discussed more many classes on reading part. And
Yes,
writing,
sir.
I started, you can have writing classes every Friday, 8:30 p.m. You can have
Okay,
classes with.
sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So if you have any more question, you can ask me.
No, sir. Thank you very much.
Could you
Sir.
please, okay, you have
Sir,
question.
should you say about writing? How can I improve writing?
Okay, do you have idea about the IELTS writing module?
Yes, sir. I got.
So do you have basic English knowledge? That means sentence, use of verb, tenses, or by chance do you have basic English knowledge?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
If you have basic,
I have
if you
learned
have,
some months ago.
if you have basic English knowledge, try to write any sorts of thing following some IELTS writing task question. Like you can have a question from internet. If you charge in Google IELTS writing question, simple question, Cambridge, you can have Cambridge book. You can have many question in the internet. IELTS writing, simple writing questions. You can have the question, download the question, multiple question. You can try to answer all the question and send to our Facebook group. I will evaluate your score. I will find out your mistake you have done. But remember that for task 1, ensure the time and training in 20 minutes. You should be able to write 150 word. What do you understand? In task 2, you have to write in 40 minutes 250 word, the essay of your own knowledge and experience. Any question? Any more question, please? Do you have any more question?
No, sir.
Okay, if anyone have a question, you can ask, or I have to finish the class in here.
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining the classes today. Thank you all.